There were a lot of good movie trailers that premiered during the 2026 Super Bowl. On the other hand, there was also a trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu. Here's how they all stacked up. Melissa Barrera was fired from Scream 7, and Jenna Ortega also dropped out after the pair previously led the past two installments. It's clear that the two actresses who played sisters in 2022's Scream and Scream 6 were supposed to get some kind of resolution in the next Scream film, but that didn't pan out. Now we pretty much have Scream Endgame coming out with a bunch of actors from past Scream films returning, despite some of them having died previously. It's hard to get excited about a movie that seems more concerned with fan service than a good story, and the Scream 7 Super Bowl trailer doesn't do much to assuage any fears. We get some Ghostface carnage while he torments Sidney Prescott over the phone. It seems Ghostface has an old score to settle with Sidney, and the trailer ends with this line.
"This is gonna be fun."
The weird thing is, that's not just any voice. It belongs to Stu, one of the original ghost faces from the first Scream. It's something of a baffling choice to have a disembodied voice be the final selling point of a big horror movie. How many people watched the Scream 7 trailer and had no idea that it was supposed to be Stu? There's still the question of how Stu is even alive after dying, although it's possible his voice was reconstructed using AI to further torment Sidney. The trailer feels like the very definition of reheated nachos, and it's hard to get excited over a plan B. Well, there's something to be said of creativity. It was speculated that although Marvel would be sitting out of the Super Bowl, Disney would still have a presence with Hoppers and The Mandalorian and Grogu. But it's safe to say no one expected this. You'd be forgiven for assuming you were about to see an ad for a new car or Coca-Cola. The commercial opens with a snowy landscape, but then you realize it's not reindeer pulling a sled. It's 4 tauntauns, and they're being herded by Din Djarin and Grogu. The whole thing's set to narration from Sam Elliott saying platitudes like,
"The journey never gets any easier. The bond just gets harder to break."
It's hard to call this a proper trailer. The best you can say is that it's cute, but it's hard to get excited about the actual film when we're not seeing anything new. It basically functions as a reminder that a new Star Wars film is finally coming out in theaters on May 22nd. But will anyone who hasn't kept up with The Mandalorian on Disney Plus care? Especially after this? Unfortunately, this is destined to stand among the worst Star Wars trailers ever. The Super Mario Galaxy movie, which is pretty much guaranteed to make over $1 billion at the box office like its predecessor, keeps things short and sweet for its Super Bowl spot. We knew Yoshi would be part of the movie after he was teased at the end of the first movie, but there's another dinosaur on the block as we see Yoshi along with Toad, Baby Mario, and Baby Luigi interact with a full-blown Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's a fun spot, and for fans of the Mario games, it's proof that the movie is pulling from more than Super Mario Galaxy. The T-Rex, specifically the one we see here, is from Super Mario Odyssey. From all of the marketing, it seems like the Super Mario Galaxy movie is going big. We're going to space and adding Rosalina. There's a T-Rex and Bowser Jr. in the mix. This looks like an utter treat for any Nintendo fan, and knowing that Super Mario Odyssey will be incorporated into the plot is probably a big plus for many. Technically, the new Supergirl trailer aired during the Puppy Bowl, which is close enough for us. And it's easy to see why Supergirl went down that route, as the spot opens with Kara Zor-El picking up a baby Crypto.
Who are you?
There's a rich tradition in recent years of franchises relying on baby versions of popular characters. Baby Yoda, Baby Groot, Baby Mr. Peanut. If you want to make headlines, make a baby version of a character to get people to pay attention. Baby Crypto is indeed adorable, but the new trailer mostly focuses on Kara's tragic past. It largely takes place on Krypton via flashbacks as Kara explains that Krypton didn't get destroyed all at once. It's mostly action set pieces we've seen before, notably Kara swinging things around and taking out a bunch of bad guys. But Baby Crypto is great, and it's a good reminder for anyone who liked Superman in 2025 that there's going to be some connective tissue to the new film that seems to take place entirely off-Earth. But as anyone who's read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which serves as the foundation for the new film, knows, Crypto's going to break a lot of hearts. Pixar finds itself in a difficult position. When it cranks out sequels like Inside Out 2, they perform magnificently at the box office. But its original films typically struggle, like Elio, which flopped at the box office despite being the best science fiction film of 2025. Ideally, Hoppers, coming out on March 6th, changes the tide when it comes to Pixar originals. The marketing materials have looked very entertaining so far, with the Super Bowl ad focusing on the film's comedy. It's mostly clips we've seen so far from past trailers, but it quickly explains the film's plot. A girl's brain is sent into a robotic beaver as she infiltrates the animal factions within the woods. Hopefully, hoppers can ride the Zootopia 2 wave of people wanting movies with talking animals. It's a cute trailer, even if it skews a little dark.
It's good to be alive!
Maybe that'll be enough to show parents that there will be jokes for them, too. If you watched the Super Bowl, you only would have seen a 30-second shot of a minion running through a white void toward the screen and yelling.
Minions! Minions!
It makes sense studios would try to save some money by telling you to just go online and watch the full trailer yourself, but taking the time to see what the Minions have cooked up this time around is well worth it. The third Minions movie, aside from any Despicable Me movies and their sequels, sees the little yellow guys go in Hollywood. They have an idea for a monster movie, but need to provide their own monsters, leading to the kid-friendly characters engaging in a little dark magic. We weren't expecting the Minions to try to summon Cthulhu, but it's a killer direction to go in.
Teeny tiny Bobby! Stop manhandling me, you big weirdo!
It mostly looks like the film will have fun putting the Minions next to a who's who of creatures, from kaiju to mummies. As far as a new Minions movie goes, it's a fun enough idea, and the trailer should sell the plot well enough to kids. As far as parents go, hopefully they enjoy the Lovecraft references. Prior to the Super Bowl, cinephiles tend to have a good idea of what trailers to expect thanks to leaks. However, it seems like no one had it on their Super Bowl bingo card that we would get our first look at the adventures of Cliff Booth coming to Netflix. Not much is known about the film, which was written by Quentin Tarantino and directed by David Fincher, and to be honest, the trailer doesn't reveal much. It seems to pick up after the ending of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, with a mention of how Cliff helped Rick Dalton fend off some Manson family intruders. Keeping things vague isn't a bad thing, though, as it gets a ton of mileage out of pure vibes. We see Brad Pitt return as Cliff Booth, of course, and there's a whole new cast of characters he surrounded himself with. The best part of the trailer is how any non-family friendly material has been scribbled out. Cliff smoking something that we can't see, and any nudity has been blurred out. It's a good way to express how this is definitely a Tarantino-Fincher joint while still being appropriate to air during the Super Bowl. There's even a fun nod to Big Kahuna Burger, a reference to Pulp Fiction. The boldest thing about the ad is that it doesn't even give you the name of the movie. Hopefully enough people look up new Brad Pitt movie on their phones after the big game, because this looks like one worth watching. Looper predicted Project Hail Mary could be one of the biggest surprise box office hits of 2026, and its Super Bowl trailer really suggests that could prove true.
I understand that you think I'm the right person for this mission.
The first trailer Amazon MGM Studios put out for Project Hail Mary was focused on explaining the heady sci-fi concept, clocking in just shy of 3 minutes. The film sees Dr. Ryland Grace on a mission to the furthest reaches of space to save humanity from its dying sun. The Super Bowl trailer still gives a rundown of the plot, but focuses a lot more on vibes. We get some truly stunning shots of space, which includes one gorgeous look at Ryland looking at a funky green planet with swirls throughout its atmosphere before the planet's replaced with red dust. We also get more screen time with Rocky, an alien Ryland encounters who assists him on his missions, and the two seem like they're going to be one of the best cinematic duos of 2026. Humor, heart, and a big rock alien. That's all you need to sell tickets. A new Steven Spielberg movie is always worth celebrating, and Universal Pictures seems to know it has something special with its newest film, Disclosure Day.
Do you think there could be others?
People have a right to know the truth.
Spielberg has crafted some incredible sci-fi epics like Jurassic Park, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and E.T. Disclosure Day looks like a return to form for the legendary filmmaker, and it's easily the best Super Bowl trailer of 2026. The trailer does a great job of keeping plot specifics close to its chest. The spot opens with discussions of government materials getting released to the public, and it's clear these documents have to deal with extraterrestrial life. There are trippy shots of crop circles seemingly materializing out of thin air, in addition to people changing form, as there's a quick shot of a woman changing in a split second to look like Emily Blunt. While we know it's an alien movie, the trailer still keeps a lot of questions open-ended, which is precisely how we like it until it's out in theaters on June 12th. And if all that isn't enough, the trailer ends with a spaceship emerging from clouds. What are these life forms? What do they want? And what have they done to some of the humans already? Are some of the humans actually aliens? Anyone who watched the big game who didn't have Disclosure Day on their radar is surely looking forward to it now, which is what any good trailer needs to accomplish.